Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 191. Holy moly. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle. And this week, I am dedicating a full episode to answering my most asked question. Am I doing mediumship readings? And just telling you why I'm not. I answered this in a Q&A a while ago, but I haven't given it its full episode, so I feel like it deserves its full episode. So here it is. I had another crazy mediumship story happen last week. But before I tell that story, I want to give you all my reasons why I'm not offering one-on-one mediumship readings. And I hope this just also gives you another perspective about mediumship, readings, offering readings. You don't have to do everything for money. You don't have to do everything for work. You can be good at things and still not offer them. And learning how to choose what you do want to offer or not in your business. So just seeing things from those lenses. I hope this podcast also helps you think about what are you doing? What are you offering? And yeah, I wrote out a little list and there's 7 reasons why. 7 reasons why. But before we jump into that, let's pull a card. I went on Instagram again and we did a little boat race about what card deck to use. And you guys voted for the Colette Baron-Reid Enchanted Map deck. So I pulled a card from there, but 2 cards jumped out. So there's 2 cards this week. If you don't already follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle, that's my only account. Just a reminder, there's a lot of scammers out there. Never send money in the DMs. Never send money to a random email address. I will never message you first. So beware of scammers on Instagram. At Medium in the Middle is my only account spelled that way. I will leave it linked down below for you. But just beware, in the spiritual realm, there is a lot of scammers. It's really bad. Okay, so we pulled 2 cards. The first card was card 41, Unexpected Visitors. If you expect the unexpected, you'll be prepared for miracles. Detours, surprises, and paradigm shifts. Expect the unexpected. No matter how derailed your plans are and how clear you believe the road ahead to be, there are times when the best plans are waylaid by unforeseen circumstances. At first, detours may seem inconvenient, but a surprise turn of events signals that the adventure of life is beginning to get interesting. No one can plan for synchronicity, for fate and destiny to meet, except Spirit, who knows what you can't comprehend for now. Life is full of surprises, so stay on your toes and enjoy this exciting new adventure you weren't expecting. There's a plan for your life that may not match up with your agenda. I know this card is for me. It was the second card to come out. So I just wanted to read it for you guys. But I'm pretty sure that one was for me. I'm sure it'll resonate with somebody else. And the other card that we received was card 51, Moonlight. Your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. Moonlight beckons. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second-guessing yourself, for your alternative perception is especially sharp right now. You can see beyond the surface of things and truly read between the lines. This is a good time to use oracle cards or other systems of divination to gain information. Remember that the language of intuition is a symbolic one. It comes subtly through a hunch, a tingle, a clear sound, or an animal or object crossing your path. Spirit is sending you messages to help you now. Success is yours if you follow the signs. Ooh, and I think this card aligns too with what we're talking about today, because every single time someone asks me for mediumship, or every time a mediumship story happens, it makes me second guess my choices. And I'm always like, nope, I know I'm not offering mediumship for a reason. Like, nope, I know I don't do this for a reason. And I trust that so wholeheartedly that it makes conversations like these easy for me, because I know I'm making the right choice for me right now. So I do want to preface this whole podcast by just saying these are my views about mediumship for my life and why I personally am not doing one-on-one readings. I still teach on mediumship. Mediumship still happens. It's still a big part of my life, but it's just not an offering that you can book on my website for all the reasons I'm going to tell you. And I know that's the right choice for me. I've known that's the right choice for me. It took me a while to get there, but for the past few years, I'm no, my focus is on teaching. This is why. So I'm going to explain that further today. So I just have one announcement, and that is the Business Numbers and 2024 Planning Workshop for all my fellow business owners is coming up. It's on October 21st from 1 p.m. to 3:30. It's a 2.5-hour workshop, and we are planning your business for 2024. This is more than just setting goals. We will be setting goals, but we're going to be reviewing 2023, what worked, what didn't work in your business. 2024, get our numbers out, start manifesting, start goal setting. We're going to learn how to do end of month and end of quarter. I'm going to teach you my rinse and repeat method, which is how I keep having year over years and months over months improve, and my business keeps growing and growing and growing. We're going to do a brainstorming for 2024. So you do want to sign up for that as soon as possible. Don't wait, because I'm sending out the course materials early because there are 2 items that you need to print. So if you plan on attending, I have a 2023 and a 2024 business planning calendar that I created, and I'm sending that to you, and you need to print it because we're going to be working with those a lot in the 2.5 hours. So I'll leave the link down below. If you are a business owner, any business owner that wants to make more money next year, which is all of us, I do recommend you would have started your business. If you are starting, this will still be very helpful, but if you have started your business already, this is going to be very, very helpful. And I'll leave the link down below to register. Don't wait till the last minute, because the course material is going out the week of, so that you all have time to print it, because you will physically need it in front of you. So set yourself up for success in 2024. I know it might seem like far away, but in business, you need to be planning 3 months out. If you're not planning 3 months out, you're just running on a hamster wheel, constantly trying to catch up. So set yourself up for success in 2024. You should know what you're doing in January now. I'm going to help you. Links down below. This is the best money you'll ever spend in your business, I promise you. And then you can save the replay and watch it every single year. Okay, jumping into this week's episode. Why do I not offer one-on-one mediumship readings? And I had an experience last week with a client, and they had a lot of spirits come through, and it was so accurate. She kept saying, "How do you know that?" And I kept saying, "I don't know. I'm usually not this good. I'm usually not this accurate. Holy cow." I knew what spirit was doing. And it was a test and so many things, which I am going to share about in next week's episode. I want to share the whole story with you because it was just a reminder and a test. And I think it's normal for spirit to come back around and be like, "Are you sure you don't want to do this?" But I have so many reasons why I don't want to be doing mediumship readings right now. So again, just disclaimer, this is just for me personally. I don't teach about this, but this is my views for my life and what works best for me. But I do have 7 very important reasons of why I'm not offering mediumship readings. And I think that you can be good at something and still not offer it for money. And that's a very big lesson. So mediumship isn't where I learned that lesson to start. I have been good at a lot of things that I no longer do, and that doesn't mean I have to do it for work or money or put it on my schedule. I used to coach CrossFit. I loved it. I was a great coach. I just don't have time for it anymore. I used to be a yoga teacher. I was teaching 5 classes a week. Same thing. I just don't have time for it anymore. I used to offer Akashic record readings, and they just weren't my favorite offering. I wasn't obsessed with them. And I've said this before, but if you run your own business, you get to choose what you do. And I only want to offer what I'm obsessed with. And I'm so excited to work 6 days a week in and, check on my days off and tune in and spend a lot of time and effort in. Other jobs that I used to do that I was really, really good at. I used to be a wedding coordinator and an event planner. Again, it just pros and cons weighed out that I moved on. I used to run restaurants. I was a really great server. I was really, really good in retail. I used to blow sales goals out of the park. But that doesn't mean that I have to do any of those things for work still. And I think that's something that, especially when you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn that just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to offer it. Doesn't mean you have to do it for work, because then it kind of takes out the fun. This happens a lot with creatives where they'll be like, oh, I do pottery. But then as soon as pottery is work, it's not fun anymore, or it can turn not fun anymore. So for me, that's where mediumship falls. I like it. I like when it happens. I like when spirit comes through. I do like sometimes when they sneak in and they give that like very powerful message. I'm like, okay, I get it. But it doesn't make me want to do it every single day. I think it would ruin the magic of it for me. So I just want to share these reasons with you so that you understand my thought process over the past few years and why I do revisit this decision often, but I always come to the same thing. And the answer is I don't want to be doing it now. So I'm going to go into my list. And the first one, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but for me, mediumship feels very much like a show. Let me show you. Let me prove to you. Let me say all the right things for your loved ones. Let me pull in for you the information that you're looking to hear. And it feels like this, let me prove to you this is real. Let me prove to you that I'm talking to your dad. Let me have them say the right things. And for me, I just feel that right now my focus needs to be on teaching people that they don't need people like me. So I prefer the approach of let me teach you how to do mediumship. Let me show you how you can do this by yourself. Let me teach you Reiki. Let's work together so I can get you trusting your intuition so you don't have to pay people like me hundreds of dollars for a reading once a year. I just find so much more value in that. And I don't want to be a show. I want to be a teacher right now. And I do teach mediumship. I help people build their mediumship brands. I help them get to where they need to be in mediumship. I help them work with one-on-one readings and group readings. And I help them start a business. Then I help them figure out pricing. And I help them make their readings better and more accurate. And I can do that because I've gone through a lot of it myself and I have the experience of that. But I want to be teaching it. I don't want to be on stage on the show because I know I can do mediumship forever. But right now, my focus is on teaching. So that's kind of number 2 is I see more value for me right now in teaching. And I said this before and I'll say it again, but I know a lot of good mediums. I work with a lot of good mediums. I develop a lot of good mediums. In my mentorship, I have a lot of amazing people. I'm always recommending a medium named Brie, who's a fellow Canadian. And I just know that the mediumship realm is very well taken care of. But if you asked me for someone else to teach you Reiki or to mentor you or to teach you mediumship, I have very few people that I could recommend, if any, that I know you're in good hands. And I kind of got stuck where I was recommending people and then people would end up relearning with me and I would be like, oh, Steph, it's not the same. So I know I'm a very good teacher. I know I'm very thorough and I know if you learn with me, you're well taken care of. So if I have a good referral for you for mediumship and I know someone else is doing beautiful work in that space, I just feel very good about that. And I know that I can stay in my lane and someone else is covering the mediumship lane. So number 2 is I want to be a teacher and I know a lot of good mediums. And I just don't think there's a lot of teachers with experience And that's needed for Reiki, for mediumship, and for mentorship, just for like spiritual development and even business development. Like I love business development so much. I always say like you have to be a good business person. Doesn't matter how good of a medium you are. If you're bad at business, you're not going to have a good business. So you have to be a good business person, not only just talented or good at something. So number 1 and number 2 kind of go together, but those are the biggest reasons of like, I know right now I need to teach people how to do this for themselves and how to not just wait for a yearly reading with someone like me. So again, this is for me personally. This doesn't happen to everyone, and I don't want these things to also scare people away from mediumship, but we are talking to the dead. So it's not easy for everybody. It is easy for some people, but for me, I've said this a lot, I sweat. Like I sweat a lot. And physically for me, I do get very tired. People are always like, are you drained? Do you feel drained when you do Reiki? And when I do Reiki, no, I can do Reiki all day, every day. I love Reiki so much. But when I do mediumship, yeah, I'm drained. I come home, I'm tired. It just feels like I've worked all day. I'm like, ooh, I earned my money today. And there's a hangover. So you have to be very mindful of like, what are you doing later? Like, am I planning to go out for dinner later? Probably not if I was doing mediumship readings. And when I say I sweat a lot, it is like uncomfortable. I sweat through my underwear, my pants, my bra, my shirt. I have to watch what I'm wearing when I do mediumship readings because I will sweat through my shirt and have sweat marks. It's just really like a gross sweat. I'm sorry if this is TMI, but like I have to come home and shower and like wash everything that I was wearing from head to toes because it smells like a different type of smell. And it's just very uncomfortable. So say I was doing 2 or 3 readings a day, I would literally have to change all my clothes in between every single reading. And I just don't want to do that much laundry. Which kind of leads into my number 4 is that when I am doing mediumship readings, obviously I want to be the clearest channel possible. So I am very mindful of my energy the day before. And then also the day after, it's kind of like an energy hangover. You feel tired. I feel like I worked a big day. Also being mindful of my energy in the space if I'm not feeling well, if I'm feeling a little off, if something's going on in my world, if I have a headache, if I'm not feeling connected, if I'm just overwhelmed, if, people cancel for a lot of reasons. But in my energy world, I've only had to cancel on 2 people in the last 4 years. And that was because I was very, 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 very sick in bed. But in mediumship, it's very, very common to cancel if you're not feeling your very, very best. I can do Reiki on my deathbed. I can do Reiki when I'm sick. I can always give you an amazing Reiki session because I receive Reiki when I give Reiki. Mediumship, some days I'm just not on. Some days I'm just not my very best. And that sort of uncertainty, I just personally don't like. I don't want to be like, oh, if I wake up and I didn't have a good sleep, I have to cancel people. And then I have to reschedule those people. And then that means I didn't work that day, so I made 0 money. There's just a lot more variables when it comes to working in mediumship because you are performing and you are having to speak to spirit. It's hard work for me. For me, it feels like hard work. Reiki does not feel like hard work for me. I can do Reiki all day long. And it's very interesting because me and Brie are friends, a medium named Brie, but she is the complete opposite. Mediumship for her is no problem. When we did a group reading, she was like, let's go for a drink after. I was like, what do you mean you can go for a drink after? I was like, I have to go home and shower and decompress and lay on the couch for 2 hours and eat the food I prepared and change my clothes. And I was so like, oh my gosh, I wish I could just go out for drinks after a mediumship reading. And then when I saw her recently, she was like, oh yeah, like mediumship's fine. She's like, but I get really tired when she was doing an event where she had to give Reiki. She's like, Reiki makes me so tired. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the opposite. I was like, I could Reiki all day, every day. I was like, mediumship makes me so tired. So everyone's just different. It just depends, what makes you feel tired. And for me, Reiki doesn't make me feel tired. Teaching, it makes my voice feel tired, but energetically, I can handle it. I've done so much teaching. I can hold space for a lot of people. I'm used to it. I don't get drained when I present. I'm used to it. But mediumship, as soon as a spirit comes through, and it just changes everything. Changes how much energy I have, how tired I feel. So again, this is all for me personally, but I feel very tired. Number 5, there's obviously a lot of pressure. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to go to work every day with that much pressure on me to get the right spirit, to say the right thing, to have the certain person say the certain thing that the person is waiting for, to have skeptics book and you're trying to sit there and convince them that this is real, or just the level of pressure when it comes to mediumship, it's high. And I don't want to work in a high pressure environment. So why would I do that every day? Right now, I don't want to. Number 6, this is like the reality of working with mediumship, but you're dealing with grief. It is sad and emotional. And those emotions are also very draining. Again, for me. So if I'm speaking to your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your daughter, your son, someone passed in your life who you love, and it is sad. And like, especially talking to parents who lost children, it is very, very sad and emotional. So you're sitting with people who are sad all day, talking about sad things. Even when spirit brings up like nice memories, there's still always a lot of tears. There's always an emotional component to that. And I'm not that great with dealing with emotions, let alone like having someone constantly crying in front of me. Like I'm not a hugger. I'm not like a soothing type of person. So just dealing with the grief of talking to past loved ones every day, all day is a lot. And again, I would rather be teaching fun, happy. Let me teach you how to do this for yourself. Let's be positive here. Not talk about someone's passing, or not talk about how they were right before they passed away, or not talk about all the things that they had a hard time with in this life. That's heavy, heavy stuff. Same thing, like I could never be a therapist. I could never listen to people's problems all day, every day. No way. So again, everybody is different, but for me, dealing with grief, it is a sad job. You're dealing with sad things that have happened. And then number 7, which is my Capricorn brain coming through, is I wouldn't be able to work as much. So that would mean that I would need to restructure my entire schedule. I would need to take 2 days off every week, which means I'd need to change my pricing. It would increase drastically. I would have to see less people a day. I would have to have more time off. I would have to be mindful that if I'm not feeling my best, I would have to have, when am I rescheduling people to? You can't say, oh, I'm rescheduling you for 3 months from now. So again, I know other mediums who take a week off every month just in case something happens, in case they get sick, in case they're not feeling very good, in case something happens, they can reschedule people for that week. And that's just not how I want to live my life. I'm very lucky to run my own business and make my own schedule. And I like guaranteed I don't want to reschedule people. So I'm not sitting here and poo-pooing on mediumship. I love mediumship. I think it's beautiful. All the stories, every time it happens, I'm blown away. And I still think it's magical. I just really am in awe of this beautiful gift. But it's just not something I want to be doing every day. And that's okay. I cannot want to do something every day, but still love it and still enjoy it when it happens. I will sweat through my clothes once a week or once a month. That's all right. I will be tired and drained once in a while. That's okay. I will feel lots of pressure and deal with the grief and the emotions and the tears once in a while. That is all okay. Everything that I listed once in a while is fine. But to be doing this 5 or 6 days a week, every single day, for me, that's just not what I want right now. So just really knowing what you want, what is good for your life, your schedule, and not everything you have to do for money. Not everything you have to do as an offering. Not everything you're good at, you have to offer right now. Life is a journey, and I'm sure this will change, and I'll be doing mediumship readings eventually. I know this will change and I'll be doing mediumship readings eventually. I think I'll be doing a lot of group work, a lot of teaching still, a lot of teaching how to do group work and podium work. I'm good at that stuff. But just right now, I know my focus needs to be with my Reiki trainings, with my mentorship, and with teaching people how to do this. And that is also shown to me through spirit with every course I run sells out, every mediumship program that I do sells out. I am booked to months in advance for these things. So I also have a lot to show me that what I am doing is where I should be. And I love what I do every day. I am stoked to get up and come to work. I love my business. I love everything I do. I literally am excited for every single session on my schedule. I'm excited to see every single person on Zoom or in person for Reiki, for PSYCH-K, for mentorship, for teaching, for classes, for workshops that I do, for business development, all of those things I am literally so excited to do. And if you had to make me pick one of those things, just mediumship wouldn't be the first thing that I picked. It would still be on the list, it's just not first. So because it's not first, it's not on my menu because there's only so many hours in a day and days in a week. So this isn't a negative podcast episode. These things aren't bad, but I also wanted to fully explain why I don't offer one-on-one mediumship readings. These are the 7 main reasons why, and why my focus is on teaching. And yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully, it answers a lot of your questions, but also like makes you think and reflect on your own life. What are you doing that you maybe don't want to? What do you do that you think you should be doing? What are you doing because XYZ? Do you love everything that you do? And again, being an entrepreneur, I have a lot of control over my schedule and what I offer and what I do every day. And could I offer mediumship once a week? Yes. Could I just do one time a month that I do it? Yes. But again, for all of the back end work, it's just not worth it for me at this time. So when I'm offering mediumship readings in a few years, feel free to send me this episode and be like, LOL, remember back in 2023, October, when you said all of this and now things have changed? And I'll be like, yeah, I remember in that episode when I said that things can change and that's okay. So things can change, things will change. I know I'll be offering one-on-one readings, but for now, I'll be teaching. You'll find me in front of a class. You'll find me doing workshops. You'll find me doing Reiki. You'll find me doing mentorship. And I will keep doing that until I decide, not spirit, me, till I decide that it is time to do a mediumship full time or bring it onto my schedule or however that looks in the future. So now I have a specific dedicated episode that I can direct people to when they ask me if I'm doing readings and why I'm not, because I'd be so good at it. I know I'm good at a lot of things, but that doesn't mean I have to do it all. And it doesn't mean I have to do it for work or money or trade for it right now. Things can change, but right now, these are my 7 reasons why. So thank you for listening to this episode if you were interested in it. And maybe send this to someone who needs a reminder that they can offer what they want and take things on and off their menu and their service offerings as they see fit. Entrepreneurship is a beautiful world. That's what I have for you this week. If you have not already, please leave me a rating and a review. It really helps me out in the podcast world. Promise it only takes 10 seconds of your time. I release new episodes every Wednesday, so subscribe and I will be in your ears every Wednesday. Stay tuned for next week's crazy mediumship story. I know you guys are going to love it. It really blew my mind. Oh my gosh, I had to write down, I'm like, this is going to be a podcast episode. I need to write this all down because I'm going to forget everything. So I have all the notes, they're saved so I don't forget anything that was said, but it was so accurate. Oh my gosh. We'll talk about that next week, but I wanted to do this episode first to explain why I don't do it and then be like, hey, but by the way, Spirit snuck in and this is what happened. Spirit's been sneaking in a lot. Double checking that I still don't want to offer mediumship readings. But anyways, if you want to book an appointment with me for Reiki or PSYCH-K, I offer in-person or distance sessions available worldwide. It's held live via Zoom. All my November Reiki trainings are also up. I will leave those down in the show notes if you have been waiting for a Reiki level 1 or a Reiki level 2. I believe I'm going to teach into December this year, so there will still be one more course in December before we wrap up 2023. But until next Wednesday, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will be back next week with a mediumship story. Ay, ay, ay. Bye, everybody.